Well, good Shabbos, everyone. We're also live on Facebook. Want to obviously wish you a good Shabbos, a Shabbat of peace. And as we've been kind of discussing the past couple of weeks, that Shalom is really about pleasantness. So I was always taught that Shalom meant peace, hello, and goodbye. And that's how I was taught, that that's what Shalom meant. But if I start to look at it, really what it is that we are looking towards giving people pleasantness and receiving their pleasantness. It's not just about peace, because if we wanted peace, does that just mean stopping war or being silent? It really is about walking away with pleasantness and pleasant feelings. So when we start our service on page 16 with Shalom Aleichem, we'll mute everyone in just a moment, but when we wish each other Shalom Aleichem, we are saying pleasantness, that this Shabbat will come in, and let's put out energy and thoughts of kindness, tolerance, and love. So let me mute everyone, and then Cantor, if you could unmute yourself as we begin with page 16, Shalom Aleichem.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Sorry, Cantor, I just muted you.
Alt A. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Good Shabbos.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
On page 38, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. La lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmi'anu el ha'me'echad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'liti la l'chadodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'sachala, toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. La lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pene Shabbat. nekabela.
Yasher Koach, Cantor, please be seated. We turn now to the bottom of page 41, where we would invite traditionally the Mendelssohns. I can't see you, but I assume if you can rise at this moment, you would be at this point getting up from Shiva. Of course, Tom lost his mother just recently. The funeral was on Monday, so the family is sitting Shiva, but on Shabbat, the family, of course, will rise and Shiva, and we invite them as a community that they can feel our embrace. The bottom of page 41, Hamakom Yenachem Etchem B'toch Sha'ar Avlei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May the Holy One who comforts Israel grant you solace in your bereavement, and we all say, Amen. Of course, the family is still in a period of mourning, but on Shabbat, mourning ceases just for a moment. We continue our service on page 50 with Ma'ariv Aravim.
El Chai V'Kayam Tamidim Lo Chaleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Amariv Aravim.
With everlasting love, you have loved the house of Israel, teaching us your Torah, its mitzvot, laws, and judgments. Ahavat Olam, page 52.
Ahavat Olam Beit Israel Amchavta Torah u'mitzvot hukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shachbeinu u'vekumeinu nasiach be'ukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'aholamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavcha, uvechol nafshecha, uvechol meotecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvelechtecha b'derech ushachbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leotal yadecha vehayu letotafot beinenecha Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make fringes in the corner of their garments throughout their generations, putting upon the fringes of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the fringes, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclinations of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus, you will be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I'm the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Turn now to page 64, and I just wanted to return into Cantor's Lecha Dodi. It really brought some of the energy, so I want to give you a Yasher Koach to that. Oftentimes, I don't know if you guys experience this, maybe it's an age thing, but being homesick from school, you would be able to watch The Price is Right. Is anyone familiar with that TV show, The Price is Right? It's a great TV show, and what I love about it is certainly all the prizes, but it is a television show. If you're feeling depressed or you're not feeling in the best mood, try not to enjoy yourself when watching that TV show. It is a TV show that gets you going, gets you excited. I'm going somewhere with this, Cantor, don't worry. And so when I hear that Lecha Dodi, I get that energy, and I can see some of the people here feel that as well. But there's also another opportunity in our service to get the energy going, which I believe the energy that we produce is important. How we end our week is really how our week will begin. And we end our week with Shabbat. So if we bring great energy into Shabbat, we can all agree that, don't you think that will set the tone for our week? So why don't we all rise and turn to page 64 as we prepare to really truly greet this Shabbat with Vishamru.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
On page 68, we prepare ourselves for the Ma'ariv Amida, for the Sabbath, as we spend a moment with our thoughts for the week, looking past, looking at where we are now and where we want to go in the week to come.
Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory.
Grant abundance and lasting peace to your people, and to all who dwell on earth, for you are the supreme sovereign of all peace. May it please you to bless your people, Israel, in every season and in every hour with your peace. Praise are you, O Lord, bestower of peace upon your people, Israel.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We now take a moment to think of those who are in need of healing spiritually, mentally, or physically. And if you could please put in the chat the names of those who are in need of our prayers. That way we can offer our prayers in their name.
Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzhak Ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, U'Yivarech Verapeh et HaHolim. El Narafan Allah, El Narafan Allah, El Narafan Allah, El Narafan Allah. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzhak Ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, U'Yivarech Verapeh et HaHolim.
May God send a speedy recovery for those in need, and we all say amen. We often look at love as something that is happening to us or something that we yield to. We often do yield to that process of love. It just happens. We sometimes love people for many different things, how they think, the way their nose is, their emotional stability, their ability to be there for you, what great qualities they have, the way they speak to you. There can be a million different reasons why we fall in love with another person. We actually use that word fall in love because it seems to just happen out of nowhere. But oftentimes these things are based on something that is acceptable to us. I can certainly find acceptability in someone's good looks, their intelligence, how they treat me, and so on. But when you remove that thing, what does that do for the love? In this week's Torah portion, we see this exact difference in these two kinds of love. It says that Isaac, V'yahev Yitzchak et Esav ki tzayid b'fiv, v'Rivka ohevet et Yaakov. Isaac loved Esav. Remember that Isaac and Rebekah have twins, Esav and Jacob. And Isaac loved Esav, for he fed him game. In other words, Esav came to Isaac and gave him food. That's a really lovable trait. Anyone that's offered me food or brought me food when you're really hungry too, that's some of the best kind of food to receive. But it says here that Isaac loved him because of that condition. The next phrase literally says, Rivka ohevet et Yaakov. She simply loved him, not for any reason. When you removed, interestingly enough, in the rest of the story, when that part of Isaac's love is removed, what happens to their love? When you remove the object of the reason I love another, what happens to that love? It goes away. What we learn from Rivka's love is very, very important, that she created the conditions. Although not always great conditions, she created the conditions in which love can flourish. Many of us, if you've ever been to a wedding, you may say a statement like, love is in the air. Anyone ever heard that one? Love is in the air. But isn't that something that's happening inside of you, the way you perceive it? If you're feeling the love, then you see that love is in the air. If just prior to that wedding, you got into an argument with a loved one, perhaps you might not see so much love in the air. So really, the love is about creating conditions inside of us that love can grow. In other words, we create the environment. Just like in the example of planting a tree or planting a garden, is that you have to have the conditions just right when you plant that seed. You plant the seed of love. You have to water it. You have to take the manure. Sometimes that's an interesting metaphor, but you have to take it. You have to give it appropriate water, just the right amount of sunlight, and then that seed, that love, can flourish. We learn that from that simple pasuk that Rebekah loved Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob was able to really become who he was because that love was something that was allowed to grow, not based on any condition. When we enter into this week, may we be those creatures that create an environment in which love can flourish. It is up to each and every one of us to make sure that we are doing that and building towards that. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Aleinu on page 118.
Please rise if you are able and so inclined. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breishit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamelachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim ve'osed haaretz umoshav yikaro b'shamayim ha'al ushchinatu zo begavhei meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato Kakatu Betorato B'yadata Hayom v'hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim. B'shamayim imhal, ve'al ha'aretz mitachat Einod.
For sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written in your Torah, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. And it has been foretold, the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day the Lord shall be one, and shall be acclaimed as one.
Kakatuv b'Toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam v'ahed, v'nehemar, v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, Ushamo, echad.
We turn now to page 124 for the Mourner's Kaddish. May the memories which we cherish and lovingly now recall inspire us to live, that we too may bequeath the heritage of precious memories to those whom we shall leave behind. In tribute to our departed, may we enrich the lives we touch. May we share and preserve the faith which our mourners will now affirm as they rise to sanctify God's name in the hallowed words of the Kaddish. In this week's Yort sites, Doris Burse, aunt of Larry Burse; Frederick Franklin, father of Mark Franklin; Jerry Garbus, father of Carl Garbus; Morris Mallon, father-in-law of Lori Mallon; Maria Hollis, mother of Georgette Arison; Bernard Liss, father of Jody Liss Monteleone; Jonathan Pevsner, stepbrother of Harry Berenson; Helene Stelnick, mother of Karen Greenberg; Isidore Yaker, grandfather of Susan Berenson; William G. Burns, father of Patricia Levine; Anna Miller, mother of Jerry Motel; Shirley Block, mother of Steve Block; David Joseph Davis, grandfather of Terry Greenberg; Erwin Greenfeld, father of Janice Wald; Neil Altman, husband of Sheila Altman; Molly Engelmeyer, mother of Katie Garbus; David Maltz, friend of Mary Ann; Joseph Miller, brother of Jerry Motel. Again, the Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 124. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'amad divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah v'rach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom ben romav, huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who makes harmony and peace in the heights, grant us harmony and peace here for us, for all Israel and all humankind. And we all say amen. I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom, Yasher Koach to you, Cantor Ray, for leading us this evening's service. Join us tomorrow, of course, for Havdalah at 5:30. It's getting earlier and earlier. What a great way to start your Saturday evening. Ours has been limited to pizza and ice cream and maybe a movie. So it's nice to get that out of the way earlier. In any event, join us tomorrow at 5:30. And again, I just want to reiterate, great opportunity to give back to the community. We are collecting goods for Family Promise this Sunday at the shul. Drive drop off. I didn't want to say drive by. That sounds different than what I wanted, but a drive drop off. We'll do that. And that starts at 11 till 1 o'clock. I'd love to see you. I will be there. I know Yael, who's on here tonight, will be there as well. Most importantly, though, I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat of peace, one in which we can give good feelings and good energy out into the world. We rise for Kiddush, which can be found on, Cantor?
Saturday, tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
That's true too. Oh, of course, always. Thank you. Saturday at 10 o'clock. It's a good one. Cantor is singing amazing, and I have a great talk prepared and ready to go. So Shabbat Shalom. My wife's laughing at me, so that means it's time for me to do Kiddush. Okay. We rise on page 90 for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahavat ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lamikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu b'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom. Let me unmute all of us, and so we can wish each other a good Shabbos. Hold on. Good Shabbos to you all.
Good Shabbos, Yasher Kol.
Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos.
Shabbos. God bless.